One of the most common things that's overlooked in the financial planning process is the tax planning. And one of the reasons is there's not many financial advisory firms that do it. Most of them will handle the investments, and some do an outstanding job. But if you're not looking at taxes, you could be causing some problems for clients. For example, there's a common rule of thumb that people say you need $1 million to retire. Well, that's maybe a good guideline, but if the $1 million in an IRA, there's a big IOU on that that's going to the IRS. That's a joint account with the government. You don't have $1 million. You have more like 600, 700,000, depending on how you take the money out. If that $1 million in a Roth, that's all yours. That $1 million is in a currently taxable account. You're paying taxes on a yearly basis, but it depends on where the money is. And that's one thing that people commonly overlook. And very often we have somebody come in and they say, well, hey, I've got this account and this account and this account. And we take a look at it and like, well, they've got a lot of assets, but everything is pre-tax. They have very little flexibility. A couple I met with recently, they said, well, we want to buy a car. And I said, well, have you looked into financing? Like, oh man, we don't want to pay 5%. And like, well, you're in the 22% bracket. If you take it out of your 401k, which was the only type of account they had, they'd pay 22% in taxes. In fact, they'd jump into the 24% tax bracket. Suddenly that 5% financing doesn't look so bad. So it's a concept that a lot of people haven't heard of before. And I still remember where I was when I heard it. It's cost of money. How much does it cost you to get at that money? For example, let's say that I need some money to buy a car. Do I take out a home equity line of credit? Maybe that's 8%. So I put on my credit card, that might be 24%. I pull it out of my IRA, that could be 22, 24, 32%. So I have it in savings. So a lot of times you can use multiple strategies and say, what's the cheapest way to accomplish my goal without losing a lot of money to taxes or interest? And people get interest. But people typically don't get taxes. That's very common where people say, I want to pay off my mortgage. How do you want to do that? I want to pull it out of my IRA. Well, your mortgage is 5%. Your tax bracket is 32%. You still want to do that. Oh, most people never think about that, and they make some pretty big tax mistakes that can't be undone. So it's something that we have to keep a close eye on, and we can have dramatic impact on our clients' financial life by just having that eye on the tax situation at all times.